I'm going to go over an example of solving a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula, but first I want to show the quadratic formula. Now this quadratic equation has to be in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where you have all of the terms on one side of the equation in the correct order and equal to 0. The quadratic equation was derived by using completing the square to solve this equation for x. And you can find that in your textbook if you'd like to see how it was derived. But I'm not going to spend the time to go through that. So the quadratic formula is x, and we're going to use the coefficient of x squared, of x, and the constant in the formula. And so it's equal to the negative of b, which is the coefficient of x, plus and minus the square root of, and we're going to take b squared minus 4 times a times c. And this is all over 2 times a. And so a couple things I want to mention is under the radical, you have to use order of operations rules. You square the b, you multiply, and the last thing you do is subtract. And this fraction bar goes all the way across. It's all over 2 times a. So I'll leave this quadratic formula where we can see it. And so I want to solve using the quadratic formula. And so the first equation I want to solve is 3x squared minus 7x minus 5 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. It is in the right form. So let me move this down just a little bit so I have some more room here to work. And see if I can get this line here. Now, first of all, I want to write down my values of a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared. So in this case, a is equal to 3. B is the coefficient of x. And so b is equal to a negative 7. Take the sign in front of it. C is the constant, and c is equal to a negative 5. So we're going to substitute in the quadratic formula, which means that x is equal to, now that's the negative of b, or the opposite of b. And b is a negative 7, so that changes to a positive 7. And plus and minus square root of b squared, so I'm going to put negative 7 in parentheses squared, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is negative 5. And this is all over 2 times a, or 2 times 3. So, let me bring over the 7 plus and minus, and then the square root of. So we've got to simplify under the radical. A negative 7 in parentheses squared is a positive 49. And this is going to be minus 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times negative 5 is negative 60. So it's going to be minus a negative 60 all over 2 times 3, which is 6. Now minus a negative, remember, changes to plus a positive. And so this is going to be, x is going to be equal to 7 plus and minus. If I add 49 plus 60, that's going to be the square root of 109 all over 6. And I don't think the square root of 109 will simplify, so your two answers are going to be 7 plus the square root of 109 over 6, and 7 minus the square root of 109 over 6. And if you're typing these in the MyLabs Plus, there's a fraction key over on the key palette, and it might work better to click on that fraction key because then you can type in the numerator and arrow down to type in the denominator.